This is a quick and easy dinner time dessert. I call it rhubarb pudding, but it can be made with any other kind of fruit, strawberries, any of the berry family. I've done it with peaches, I've done it with some mango in it, so it's whatever fruit you have. During rhubarb season, I pick rhubarb, cut it into chunks and freeze it, and so today I'm using the rhubarb that I froze last spring actually, and I cover the bottom of my pan with the rhubarb and some of the juice that is in it in its frozen state. And it doesn't have to be completely thawed either. So I start with putting 3 tablespoons of butter into a bowl, and I mix it with a half a cup of sugar and with baking powder, a teaspoon of baking powder, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla, a half a cup of milk, and a cup of flour. And I mix that up to make a batter to put on top of my rhubarb. Okay, now I've mixed the batter of all of those items that I put together, the sugar, the flour, vanilla, baking powder, salt, and sugar. And now I'm going to put it on top of the rhubarb. And I usually put it in dollops like this so that I can then spread it so that it's smooth on top of the rhubarb. So I've taken the time to spread the batter over top of the rhubarb, and I use a little flat sort of spatula to do that. It works very well. And the next step is to take a half a cup of sugar and a tablespoon of cornstarch and mix that together. A little remaining sugar here so we won't miss that. And we blend the cornstarch and the sugar together and sprinkle it over the top of our pudding. So sort of sprinkle it evenly over the top of the pudding. And the last step is to pour 2/3 of a cup of boiling water over the whole thing. And then I put it into the oven for 45 minutes, and so this is how the rhubarb pudding looks like when it comes out of the oven. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of it as a serving piece.
Smells wonderful.
Usually stays together a little bit better than that, but it'll all taste the same. And you might want to decorate it with a little bit of cream, and there you go.
We could have a spring of barley on the top.
A rhubarb pudding dessert. Would you like to taste it?
No. Are you kidding? Oh, smells lovely. That crust is just wonderful taste. It's harder at the bottom like a pudding would be. And the sweetness, it just goes all the way through. I mean, there's no loss in that at all.
Can you taste the rhubarb?
Not yet. On this piece I did. And it's just has that soury rhubarb taste that tastes so wonderful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Darrell. As usual, a great success.